Hey, beautiful. Hello, and welcome back to the Research Within podcast. I am your host, Anna Kay, and I am incredibly excited to have you here for this episode. In this podcast, we'll discover the resources each one of us already has within to create the life of your dreams, filled with success, joy, happiness, love, and so much more. Let's dive into the episode. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about motivation versus discipline. And you hear this a lot around in the industry. You hear this a lot. Oh, I'm really motivated. And, what's the difference between motivation and discipline? In an energetic sense, what's the difference between acting from a motivated place and acting from a place of discipline? Okay, I will start by explaining motivation. We'll talk through motivation and then we'll talk through discipline and then we'll see how they correlate with each other. Okay, great. So, motivation. Motivation will be something like a spur of sudden energy or inspiration, something like you're just randomly sitting at home, drinking a sip of your coffee, and you get this, oh my God, maybe I can, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So this is motivation. It's like a surge of energy, of inspiration, of excitement, is a super high energy sentiment, a super high energy feeling. It's like, oh my God, I gonna do this. I want to do this. This feels so exciting. This feels so empowering. It's like this energy of, oh my God, I have to do it and I have to do it now. So motivation comes with this energy and it's normally leads to sudden non-planned action. So when you act from motivation, when you get a motivation to do something and then you act on it, that would be something that some people call spontaneity, but it can be also called acting from motivation. When someone might say, well, I'm just a spontaneous person. Well, are you actually acting on motivation? Are you actually getting these sudden inspirations around your life to do something and then you just go and do it? So you don't have this plan, this structure around your life. So um, non-planned action normally comes after motivation. So as an example, for example, I am just watching a video on a restaurant and the restaurant says that that video was shot in Italy and it looks like a really beautiful place. And then I get excited. I was like, oh my God, I want to go to Italy. I'm going to Italy. I cannot stop thinking about going to Italy throughout the meal. There's this constant high energy, like, oh my God, I want to go to Italy. Consumes. It's like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't even think about how. I'm just saying, I'm going to do it. And then I get home from the restaurant. First thing I do, I open my laptop. I look trips to Italy, blah, 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 and I book the flight. And that is called acting on motivation, acting on inspiration. I am not saying it is good or bad to act in this way. That's not something I'm saying. I'm just explaining the difference. So when you act on something spontaneous, something just like that, even when you're just hanging out with friends and someone says like, okay, hey everyone, let's go to this bar. And then, okay, yeah, let's go. Yeah, sure. That's acting on motivation. It's just, yeah, it was not planned. Let's do it. And again, that's not bad. It's just acting on motivation with no plan, with a really high energy level, and then choosing to make decisions from this high energy, exciting level, no matter what the consequences might be in a long term future, no matter what the consequences might be for the rest of my life. When you're acting on motivation, on inspiration, you're normally thinking about right now. You're thinking about right now. There's a sense of urgency, of excitement happening right now. And I have to act on it right now. That is acting on motivation. And it normally does not take into account what's going to happen if I act like this. It does not take into account the future. It just takes the now. Acting on motivation, or quote unquote being spontaneous, is acting on the now with no regard for the consequences in the future for my life. Okay? Let's go and talk about discipline now. For discipline, when you get disciplined about something, you normally have a very, very clear goal in mind. You know exactly where you want to get, and you know why. You know why you want to get, stronger. You know why you want to go to Italy. You have a goal in mind. And normally discipline comes a bit more into account for long-term things. Why do I want to study this? Why do I want to work this job? Normally, the motivation goes for short term, and discipline is something more long term. There is a really, really clear goal in mind. So you have your goal, and it has a grounded and calm energy. It does not have any more this sense of urgency because you know your goal, you know exactly where you're going, and it does not really matter as much if you get there today, if you get there tomorrow, if you get there in a week. Of course, you can have, time constraints for your goals. That is perfectly normal. But it's not a sense of urgency. It's not a sense of if I don't do this now, it's not going to happen. Because you know that discipline and getting to your goal will take constant day-to-day action. So the energy is not urgency, it's not excitement, it's more like grounded, calm. It's like, I'm gonna get there. Maybe I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. I'm gonna get there. That's discipline. And in discipline, it does not matter if the end goal does not come right away. It really does not. You enjoy the process. The process of getting to that goal, that is discipline. The process of getting there, of doing something day in and day out, that's your discipline. And you get to that discipline and you do that constant effort every day when you believe that the goal you have in your mind is worth the work. Because discipline takes a ton of work. It means doing something constantly. It means doing something integrated into your life, integrating the workout, integrating the nutrition, integrating the reading. It means doing something constantly. So for you to get to the discipline point, you have to actually believe that the goal you have in mind is going to be worth your effort. That if you work day in and day out for this, it's going to be worth it. And you know you'll get there no matter what. You know that with your effort, you're going to get there. There's no sense of urgency, need, this fast energy. Is this sense of chill out. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there no matter what. Okay? So discipline will get integrated in your daily life. It's not something you do one day. It's not something you get the inspiration to do. It's something that's going to become integrated. It's going to become like breathing. It's going to become like eating. It's going to just be integrated into your life. It's like if you do have a morning routine right now, if you wake up and brush your teeth, if you wake up and wash your face, that is the discipline to do that because you know that the goal of, brushing your teeth and not having shitty teeth after, or, cleaning your face because you want a clean face and you want it to be nice. So this action, this action will become integrated in your daily life because you know what your end goal is and you know that it's worthy to integrate. So if you work out every day, if you read 10 pages every day, if you go for a walk every day, if you make time for your family every day, what is your goal? And what is that integrated thing that you have to put inside your life so that you get there, so that you put the constant effort to get there. Yeah. And the thing about discipline is because you believe so deeply in your goal, because you believe so hardly that you're gonna get there no matter what, and that it's worth the work, even if it's not a good day, even if it's not a high vibe day, even if you're not feeling great, you're gonna do it because the goal, the higher goal, is worth getting to. And this is a really, really big difference between discipline and motivation, because motivation is just something, you do then and it's done. And if the energy is not good, if you don't feel like it, you're not going to do it because you're just not. You're just not. But if you have the goal and if you have the long-term view of seeing how that goal will affect your life, then discipline is going to come in, because motivation has that, really does not have that long-term view. If I do something for motivation and 3 days after I'm not motivated anymore, then I'm going to stop, because that long-term view, that future goal, it's just not strong enough to keep the discipline in. Okay. And finally, for motivation, there must be a plan and there must be an execution of that plan. So you not only have the goal, I want to go to Italy, but you also have a plan. Okay, how much do I need to save? When can I have vacations? Who do I want to go with? And then you execute the plan. Okay, I am saving this amount of money every month so I can go to Italy. Or I am planning already, talking with my boss so I can have the vacations that I want to have. Yeah. So discipline is going to come with a plan. How am I going to do it? Even if the plan is not super clear, you have an idea, you have a plan, you have a first step you can take to get to that goal. And then comes the execution, because a plan with no execution is really worthless. And sometimes, most of the times, people really get stuck in the planning phase. People really get stuck in the planning phase. You just plan and plan and plan and plan and plan. That's why I'm saying it's not super important that the plan is perfect, that the plan is super detailed. That's not the most important part. The most important part is you have a vague idea of how you're going to do it, and then you go and do it. You execute the vision. Because if you get stuck in the planning phase, you're also not going to get to your goal, because you're not doing something every day. If you get on the planning phase, you're not doing an execution of the action every day that's going to take you to your goal. Yeah. So the plan can change according to how you're moving forward. If you're going as fast as you want, as low as you want, you can tweak it and adjust it as you move forward. But you have a plan and you're willing to execute that plan every single day, because the long-term goal is worth the effort. And that is the main difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation, short-term goal, instant excitement. Discipline, long-term goal. And I see how that can make my future better. Now, normally, a goal that, can turn into discipline for something, a goal will start with an inspiration and motivation, for sure. So I can be watching that video in the restaurant from Italy, and I have this inspiration to go, this motivation and this excitement, because I want to go. Now, 2 ways to move forward. You get super excited. You don't even think about the future. You don't think if you're going to miss the work. You don't think if you have the money. You just do it. Or you think about your future. You see if you have the money. You see if you can take a few days off in work. And then you plan to do it. So it is a different way of acting that will differentiate motivation from discipline. From this inspiration that you had, from this moment of happiness, inspiration, motivation that you had. You can either act from motivation and, maybe do it, maybe not, because the goal was not strong enough, or decide to turn it into discipline, into a plan, into an execution that you're going to do every day. This execution, this daily execution, is your discipline. So motivation will precede discipline, but motivation is not long lasting. It is not. What will actually last enough for you to achieve that goal in a grounded way, because you can get to the goal without thinking about the future. Of course you can. Acting spontaneous, of course you can. But if you want something to last enough for you to achieve your goal in a grounded way, taking your future into consideration, that is discipline. Discipline will allow you to get to your goal, considering your future, considering all your factors, and still enjoying it and enjoying the process too. So, what's really important if you want to act from discipline, you want to get empowered about your goal, you want to think, why do I want this? Why? What's my why? My why has to be strong enough. If my why is not strong enough, discipline is not going to persist. My why has to be strong enough. So, why do you want this? And if it is something that you actually want, plan it, not extensively. Just choose something you can do every day and take action. Take daily action together. Do something about it. Do something about it. And this is the last thing that I'm going to say for this beautiful, beautiful podcast episode. I hope that you learned a lot and you had so many valuable insights from this podcast. If you want to chat about this topic, about anything that you want, you can find me on Instagram. I will put it on the show notes. And if you feel like it, you feel like you want something to feel a bit more empowered, that you can choose this goal, that you can take action of your life, that you can use discipline to get to your end goal, you can download also my free resource, my free meditation on how to feel empowered to create change in your life, long lasting change. It's a free resource. You can just get it also on the show notes. And that's going to be all for today. I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined me for this episode, and I will be seeing you soon. Okay, bye bye.